Welcome, everyone, to Young at Heart, session number 142. I'm Father James DeLucio with the Paulist Fathers. You see me back in the library, ready to offer you nursery rhymes, stories, songs, poems, Mother Goose, Aesop's fables, riddles, limericks, and larks to keep us all young at hearts. The first is a very silly rhyme. I suppose it's an invitation to help children to want to be clever, for here it is. I met a man in the wilderness who once asked me, "How many strawberries are there that grow in the sea?" I answered him, as I thought I best could, "As many as red herrings grow in the wood." There we go. The next is a bouncing rhyme. Now, you might not know this one. There's two. I didn't. But you may recall that not so long ago, when you took your bouncing ball out into your driveway, or in the garage, or perhaps on the sidewalk, or in a basketball court, as you were trying to master that particular sport, and you wanted to keep the rhythm of that bouncing ball, you often would use a rhyme of your own, perhaps, or a tune, or a song, a lyric that was important to you, so that you could keep the concentration going. So that's what these two are. Now, I'm going to give you the rhythm with my hand going up and down, but you may use this as a physical exercise opportunity. So as my hand goes up, you can bounce up and down in your chair, up and down, up and down, up and down, and up and down. Or if you prefer, you can sit back on your chair and raise your knees. You can't see mine, but you go up and down, up and down. I hear that's really good for your abs. So this way, it's not just wasted time with me, improving your heart and mind, but body as well. I can't do these exactly and read it. Well, maybe I could try the knee thing, lifting my legs up, but that might make you dizzy. So I'll save my exercise for another time, but you have this opportunity because I want to keep you all healthy and growing young. Ready? There was a man and he went mad. He jumped into a paper bag. The paper bag was far too narrow. He jumped into an old wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow itself, it caught on fire, so he jumped into a cow buyer. The cow buyer was far too nasty. He jumped into an apple pasty. The apple pasty was far too sweet. He jumped into old Chesterle Street. Chesterle Street was full of stones. He fell down and broke his bones. How'd you do? Now this next one is longer still. There was a man of double deed who sowed his garden full of seed, and when the seed began to grow, it was a garden full of snow. When the snow began to melt, 'twas like a ship without a belt, and when the ship began to sail, 'twas like a bird without a tail. 'Twas like a bird that began to fly, it was like an eagle in the sky. And when the sky began to roar, 'twas like a lion at the door. And when the door began to crack, 'twas like a stick across my back. And when my back began to smart, 'twas like a penknife in my heart. And when my heart began to bleed, 'twas death and death and death indeed. How'd you do? I don't know if I could do the knee lifting thing. Up, 'twas like, and then a da da da. Well, maybe I could do it, but I couldn't read at the same time. but I commend it to you for your consideration. Now, of course, one line in this gave me umbrage. It was like a stick across my back, and when my back began to smart, who ever thought of doing that to a person? I'll tell you, very upsetting. Never, 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 never should have been part of human history. But imagine the first person who thought of doing such a thing. Which reminds me of a nursery rhyme that I never liked. I truly took umbrage with it. Old Mother... No, not Old Mother Hubbard. I like that one because she got the dog. She was good to the dog. No, this one was... There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread, and whipped them all soundly and sent them to bed. I didn't like that woman. I mean, imagine whipping her children before sending them to bed. I wanted to punch her in the nose. Cruelty to children. She never should have gotten away with it, let alone be remembered in a rhyme. I suppose it was an adult way of insisting that children behave, to fear us, to give us a little fear. I still don't like it. But I found this very day a variation, and I like this one. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had dozens of children, adopted ones too. She nursed them and taught them and said they might grow. But did they say thank you? Not all of them. No. Here's a bold lesson for children to be grateful, and a wonderful old woman as a role model for parents everywhere. Here, we don't want to punch her in the nose. We'd rather pat her on the head or caress her cheek. This is the one that should have been promulgated through the ages. Maybe you and I can start a new trend. And isn't that kind of what we want to do in these days? We want to start new trends because this world is ridiculous. It's upside down. It's topsy-turvy. So it's time to set it aright with more kind old women and old men, and having a little fun about inviting people to change for the better, despite the weather. Last one today, a kind of fun and silly one. There was a mad man, and he had a mad wife, and they lived together in a mad town. And they had children 3 at one birth, and mad they were, every one. The father was mad, and the mother was mad, and the children were mad beside. And they all got on a mad horse, and madly away did they ride. They rode by night, and they rode by day, yet never a one of them fell. They rode so madly all the way, till they rode to the gates of hell. Old Nick was glad to see them so mad, and gladly let them in. But he soon grew sorry to see them so merry, and he let them out again. There you go. So, there we have it. I hope you enjoyed today's rhymes. I hope you got some exercise. I so enjoy preparing these for you. I hope you have a lovely evening. And if you should happen to go out, wear your masks, stay safe, keep healthy, and which hand should I wave today? Left, right, left. Oh, I'm doing some exercise. Bye, everyone.